Well, hello, beautiful people. We are back at it again. It is so exciting. We're doing the book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. And I just love the title, by the way. I hope you guys are loving it too. We're into chapter 9, and this is part 42. And this is the subject that, some people are here to listen to because they're in a relationship, or maybe they're just trying to have a better relationship with themselves. But either way, it's a great subject to talk about. It is a part of the portion of the what I want to talk about within my channel also. And definitely you guys comment down below if you guys are in a relationship, if this is something that you've been wanting to hear more than about the money, or maybe equally the same. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback down below. But let's go ahead and get right into it, because if you guys are understanding why your relationship is the way that it is, or maybe in the past you've had these type of relationships, or relationships that you didn't want to have that end up turning toxic, this is the reason. So let's listen up and let's go ahead and get this set up here. Give me 1 second. The culprit is blame. Powerful statement. All right, here we go.
The culprit is blame. Most of us think of blame as the melodramatic pointing of a long, crooked finger towards one who has done scandalous wrong. Yet we're actually into blame just about every waking moment of our days, from weather to rude drivers to toothpaste caps. We blame from sun up till sundown and never think a thing about it. Oh, sure. More times than not, we're probably justified in our accusations. But so what? There's not an ounce of well-being that can squeak through the low, thick vibration of blame, whether it's justified or not. In fact, the electromagnetic energy of blame is so potently charged as it flows from us to others, it can cause those who are usually fairly dependable to mess up all over the place. And for sure, sending blame energy to someone who's been nasty, stupid, abusive, or drunk only amplifies the condition you'd like to see changed. Some friends who had their luggage put on a wrong flight were fuming and stewing for hours at their hotel over the inefficiency of the airline. Their important luggage, which had been seen but had now vanished, was so completely lost, no one even knew where to start looking. Finally, my friends realized what they were doing and switched to appreciating the usually competent employees they'd been berating. Within minutes, they received the call that the luggage was found and would be delivered within the hour. Prior to their change of attitude, the buckets of angry, blameful energy they were sending out were causing the airline workers to turn a minor incident into a snarled up mess. A lender to whom I had submitted a loan called to tell me they couldn't find an important original paper I knew I had sent. As I was crabbing over the incompetence of their staff, the phone calls kept getting worse. More stuff missing, more facts not properly documented, more problems. The more I knee-jerked into fuming blame, the more this thing was falling apart right before my eyes. Then I realized what I was doing. Switched to appreciation for the normally efficient personnel. And in less than 15 minutes, they called to apologize. Everything was there. The loan had been approved. A participant in one of my seminars couldn't stop blaming her husband for what she perceived to be the cause of their twins stuttering. After the seminar, she reluctantly agreed to undertake a program of brief hubby appreciation periods daily. She called about 6 months later to tell me how difficult that had been at first. But as she got into the swing of it, she learned to catch herself at the onset of a blame bout and get her valve open enough to flow some appreciation to the girls, as well as to her husband. As of the last phone call, both of the girls had nearly returned to normal speech. I don't know what happened to poor hubby. The point is, the energy of blame always makes a bad situation worse.
Mm.
Always. Let's say there's a bunch of things in a partnership we don't like. Some big, some just trivial little things we might even think we're ignoring. But little does not exist, and little is usually our biggest problem. If something is big enough for us to label, even if that label is little, there's no way we can say we're ignoring it or accepting it. We're focusing on the bloody thing. So obviously, we're flowing energy to it and making it bigger. The bottom line is that if we're bothered by something, whether our being bothered is justified or not, we're attracting negatively. That's the way of it.
Hmm.
It may be only a mild annoyance over clothes hung backwards, or it may be as terrible as the fear of abuse. But regardless of the emotional intensity, that negative attention to what is will always cause even greater problems, because that's the script we're writing. True, we can't paint on another's canvas if they don't want it painted on. If someone doesn't want to change, writing a new script or appreciating probably won't accomplish much except get our own valve open. In fact, once we're flowing that kind of energy, the strong possibility exists that the other guy may buck like a spurred yearling and not want any part of whatever it is we're offering, which could well mean we might be looking at a pulling apart. That's magnetics. If you're with someone who strongly desires not to change, and you do, universal physics will probably split you up and keep you that way. Yes, that may sound fearful, but ask yourself why you'd want to stay with someone who creates their life through negative energy flow.
Yes, exactly.
So never mind your partner's valve. In fact, never mind your partner. Take your focus off what's going on around you and insist to yourself that you get your own valve open any way you can, no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah.
The only way you'll ever have a relationship the way you'd like it to be is to script it that way and stay with that script until it comes about, either with this partner or another with whom you're in greater vibrational harmony, which means, if you haven't already guessed, being a whole lot happier.
Yes, yes, exactly.
We get to choose. If you're a silent sufferer, as I was, good luck. Whatever it is you're suffering over is growing like an overfed weed. Same thing if you're a controller, nagger, worrier, or people pleaser. You have to take your relationship killing focus off whatever it is that's closing your valve and put it on to what you want in life. In other words, take your focus off your don't wants, put it on your wants, and keep it there. If you've got a drunk on your hands, open your valve and write your new script. If you've got an unemployed partner in your hands, open your valve and write your new script. If the two of you are fighting over money, open your valve and write your new script. Start talking with your partner about what you want and why, not what you don't want and why. I know, I'm sounding very cavalier about this, like there was nothing to this business of ignoring the actions of some jackass who you're sure is responsible for making your life miserable. Blame is our game, and pointing the finger back on ourselves has always seemed so pointless. In the middle of writing this chapter, I took a break to go do some grocery shopping and maybe go to the steam bath to clear my head. I wanted to leave the subject behind for a while to make sure I was touching all bases. Leave it behind? Oh, sure. As I was driving to the store, I started a rather nasty inner dialogue with the folks who were renting the little house on my property. They had been unable to pay the rent for a couple of months, and my focus on that non-payment was becoming all-consuming, to say the least. And anyhow, The car was a great place to fume. So I was going on and on with all these phony undertones of compassion and understanding. Frankly, I was boiling, yet totally oblivious to what I was creating with my vibrations. And here I am writing about it, for Pete's sake.
Hmm.
Fortunately, it was my cantankerous mood in the supermarket that woke me up. Just as I reached for the dog food, it dawned on me how snarly I felt. I asked myself, what's bothering me? And in an instant, realized it was my focus on the lackful conditions of my tenants. At first, I was annoyed at myself, then even more annoyed that I didn't feel like getting out of my mood.
Hmm.
I finished my shopping and headed straight for the steam room, easing myself bit by bit into a better mood as I drove, so that by the time I hit the steam, I was ready to write a new script. First, a little appreciation. Nice kids, pleasant to have around. Not exactly rah-rah, but better than where I had been. I could feel my resistance simmering down a little. Thank goodness they were there to take care of the dogs while I was away. No other tenants have ever done that. And no other tenants have ever offered to help with the annual house painting touch-up like they did. That felt better. And they really do love their place. And it fixed it so cute. By now, my valve was open enough for me to start the new script. So I headed for the empty pool where I could quietly talk out loud without being stared at. You both just got new jobs? Wow, that's fantastic. I'm truly happy for you. I know you've been wanting to buy some new furniture, so now you'll be able to do that. On and on I went, painting the picture I wanted, backing off when I'd go too far and it didn't feel comfortable, pushing ahead when it felt good. It wasn't 10 minutes after I got home that the kids came over beaming from ear to ear. Not a new permanent job yet, but they had found an ongoing means to pay me, starting immediately. Fast action, to say the least. Though they had been abundantly aware of their inability to pay me, their primary focus was on their love of the place and all the ways they intended to fix it up, not on their lack of money. So we had a vibrational match, theirs and mine.
Hmm.
If they had been focused fearfully, all the appreciation in the world wouldn't have made a bit of difference.
Wow.
Vibrational ping
Okay,
pong.
let's stop there. Woohoo. This is some good stuff, man. Oh my gosh. All right, let me flip this out. Wow. Oh man. The blame. I know. Comment down below if you guys have experienced this. And I know I still do it. I still find myself, and I'll even justify it, even after listening to this chapter many times over. But just taking that moment, you know, first of all, being aware, because right, that's part of change, but being aware when you're doing it and then just taking that moment, step back, especially if you're in a heated argument, or you're dealing with this stuff directly. It could just be irate customer service, right? You're in the right, and you want to be able to tell people like they're incompetent and things like that, but just flooding them with appreciation. This goes back to the earlier chapters where she talks about, buzzing and hitting people with appreciation vibration, and you're just changing the narrative, changing exactly, and just finding a place to be appreciative, appreciative for the experience, appreciative for them, noticing all the good in that person, in your partner, and now all of a sudden the things shift and change. So I hope you guys really enjoy this, because this is another very powerful portion of the book that I think is a lot to deal with. So definitely go back and listen again. One thing I do recommend is do this for yourself. Don't try to give this to your partner, because that might start up a whole different thing. But if you want, see them listening to this, wanting to listen to this and you guys having an open dialogue and being appreciative of them because they do want to listen to this and then give it to them, something along those lines, I think would be a lot better, because you're coming from a place of, hey, I just want to give this to you as a gift, as appreciation. And then they will be more inviting and exciting to want to listen to it. So let me know how that goes also too, if that's someone who wants to do that. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of this amazing content. And until next time, you guys make it a great day. Take care.